G'day, this is Peter from the Property Club. How are you guys? Look, today what I want to talk about is something a lot of individuals have actually been asking me, and that is where to live and where to rent in Subic Bay. So I'm going to talk about where to live. So there's quite a few actual places to live. I'm going to walk around and show you a bit of my place and talk about where to live, because I get this question all the time, but where to live in Subic Bay. So this is my place, this is where I live. And I want to talk about, some different areas where to live and where to rent in Subic Bay. So the first place I do want to talk about is Kalayaan. So this is where I am now. So this is Kalayaan Homes. Oh, the dogs got out, jeez. Puppies are out. Come on, dogs. Well, we'll have to halt the video just for maybe a minute, because my neighbor's pups and our puppies are out. Come on, Clark. Rocky. Rocky. There's the big rock. Alrighty, well now I've got the dogs under control. Just want to continue this conversation. So, the first place, as I was saying, is like my place here in Kalayaan, and it's a beautiful place, and I really do love Kalayaan. You can rent probably from about as low as about 10 to 12,000 peso per month, but that's not going to get you much. Honestly, it's not going to get you much in Kalayaan. Kalayaan's, when you're talking about rent, permanent rent, it's not that cheap. Now, in Kalayaan, you're probably talking around about 10 to 12 for a granny flat, right? Or share accommodation in here, okay? Someplace like this, only one bedroom or a separate granny flat. That's all you're going to get. If you do want something like mine, so the whole house, the absolute minimum you should pay is about 25 to 30,000 peso per month for a 1 or 2 year lease. I know this for a fact because actually I just helped a mate, and that mate, my friend, I actually helped him get a place, and the place was very similar to this. They just recently renovated it, okay? So it was renovated like my property, very similar, very similar, and he's paying 28,000 peso per month. So yeah, he's paying 28,000. You can pay as much as 40 to 50,000, but I wouldn't recommend that. I'd only recommend that if it was a really nice place. So maybe it's on the ridge, really nicely renovated, or it's a big home, maybe 4 or 5 big bedrooms. This is actually about 3 bedrooms plus a study. Some could say 4, but really it is 3 bedrooms and study. This is a great size for me, and it works perfectly for me. The best part of it is Kalayaan Homes is the closest village to the base, to the city, to supermarkets like the Royal Supermarket, Pure Gold Supermarket, and the alike. The puppy's wondering where I'm headed, so I'm just going to show you guys around. Let's keep moving. Right, the sun's setting here in Subic Bay. So the next place is the next village across, which is Binictican. Binictican is also a lovely estate. It is really nice. What's nice about Binictican is you can get some really nice big homes, so some big spider homes. You would have seen in some of my videos, you've actually got these giant bloody spider homes there, and they're huge, they're bloody huge, and usually they come with parking and a garage or a carport, which I don't actually have here. If you can see here, my cars have to sleep on the street, which is a big downside, thumbs down. So I'm going to have to build a garage house or something, because most of the houses here in Kalayaan do not have parking. Whereas Binictican, actually a lot of those houses do have parking. So that's one benefit there at Binictican. Another benefit, and it's currently closed at the moment, but another benefit I want to mention is the fact with Binictican, if you're a golfer, if you like golf, that's where the golf course is. Yeah, just relaxing here, but I tell you, one of the things that would be nice is to have a nice little golf buggy. Use that golf buggy, being in Binictican, and scoot down to the golf course, which will be open very soon, mind you, okay? It's under renovation at the moment, and it will be completed within about 3 to 4 months, is what I've heard. So let's continue this conversation about Binictican. Binictican's great. It's a little bit tucked away. It is a long drive that you've got to head up to Binictican, because it's kind of further up in the hills, whereas this is closer to the bay. It's still in the hills, but Binictican has a lot more monkeys because it's in the hillside, a lot more animals. It is a really nice place to live. In fact, I got to admit, I like my duplex villa here. I love it here, and I wouldn't trade it. Definitely wouldn't trade it because it's a fantastic place. But what I would love more, and what I would have loved more, which I wasn't able to find, is actually a spider home. So the spider homes you can find in Binictican. So what do they cost? Okay, the minimum, okay, to actually rent a spider home, you're looking at a minimum, a very minimum of 40 to 60,000 peso per month. That's right, some of those spider homes do get up there. The prices can get as high as 60,000 peso a month. That's true. The very lowest I've seen a mate rent one for like 32,000, but honestly, I think that was low season and he got really, really lucky. Usually you're looking around 40 to 50,000 for a big giant spider home. The other thing about these spider homes in Binictican is some of them are located on the ridge, and the ridge actually overlooks the bay and the city, so you get an amazing view. You don't get that here in Kalayaan. No, you don't. So ultimately, yes, that is a really, really good option for you if you've got a bit of spare coin. Alright, so what if you didn't have much money? What if you didn't have much money and you want to be closer to the city? You didn't want to be in suburbia like we are living in this house. You just wanted something small in the city. Okay, in the city it is quite expensive. The cheapest place you can rent is in a place called Mango Valley, and in Mango Valley is kind of like a hotel resort place. And in that place you can rent from about 14 to 16,000 peso per month. Now that's a monthly lease. It is kind of like a small hotel room. It's not very big, it's not very sizable, but it is really good value. The other advantage to that is actually ultimately you're right smack bang in the city. So if you don't have a car and you don't have transportation, that's the place for you because you can walk to everything, okay? And it's bloody well cheap. Now, at the end of the day, it is a really good place, but places in that area are hard to get. They're really hard to get, and prices do vary a lot. Okay, so let's recap. Yes, you can get a place from 14 to 16,000 peso a month, which is a hotel room in what we call Mango Valley. Down there on the base in the city at Subic Bay, close by to the mall, shopping, supermarkets, etc. But really, what you're going to have to pay if you can't find something in Mango Valley or a comparable hotel room is you're going to have to pay around about 30 to 40,000. That's right. Apart from about one or two buildings, it jumps. It instantly jumps. And what you need to understand is usually that area is mainly just hotels, so there's not a lot of accommodation there. And because there's not a lot of accommodation there, what can happen is people can charge you whatever they bloody well feel like. And that's the challenge, and that's the problem. So that's why I don't usually recommend to people living down in the city. The other thing too is some of those condominiums are not very well kept. They're not in the greatest of conditions. Very rarely are they renovated. And in my mind, you know, to pay 30 to 40,000 for a 1 or 2 bedroom condominium is a bloody rip-off. Like I said, just down the road here, my mate rented something like this, okay, something like my villa behind me for 28,000 per month, okay, and that included dues, it included everything. The only thing it didn't include is water and electricity, okay, so do keep that in mind. Alright, just walking down the stairs here, so I've got to be careful not to trip, right? And the next place I want to talk about is a place called Cubi. Upper Cubi, in fact. Now, Upper Cubi is a place that is for people that are, well, how can I say? I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. Cheap Charlies. Okay, it's for people that don't have much money. Now, it might not necessarily mean that you don't have much money. It might mean that maybe, you know, you're trying to find your feet. So Upper Cubi is really cheap. It is a bargain, and maybe you're just wanting to stay there for 1, 2, 3 months to find your feet. So it is a really good place to have a look at and maybe stay for a few months. The problem with those places is they are really small. They're tiny. They're like 25 to 30 square meters. They're not very big, which is fine for some people that like to eat out. Usually most places, only some have kitchens. Most in those apartments, that apartment block, are like kind of like bachelor pads with only very small kitchenettes, microwaves, no ovens, maybe a very small fridge, nothing actually sizable. So that's your challenge there. But the advantage is, like I said earlier, it is bloody cheap. Now previously you could rent for as low as about 4,000 to 5,000 peso per month for one of those studios in Upper Cubi, but now it's actually increased significantly. It's about 6,000 to 7,000 per month. So just walking along and trying to show you a little bit of the village here in Kalayaan. The next place we're going to talk about is actually Olongapo. So Olongapo is actually a bit of a bargain for those that can live the local lifestyle. So the city of Olongapo, okay, the city of Olongapo has some really cheap places. You can rent a house for as cheap as about 15 to 18,000 peso per month. Okay, I'm not very all that familiar with Olongapo. I like to live the Western lifestyle here in Asia. I like to live well. So yeah, I like the Western style living here in a place like Kalayaan. I wouldn't do too well. I wouldn't fare too well in a place actually like Olongapo. But for some of us that like to live the local lifestyle, it does work. For others, it just doesn't. The city is very much like an old Manila. So it is a bit busy. You get trikes and jeepneys and it's a bit noisy. The upside of that place is actually there's some nice bars, some nice restaurants in Olongapo, and it's bloody well cheap and affordable. So the last place I want to mention is Barreto. Barreto is a favorite for foreigners. Now Barreto is a really good option, and even living here in the Freeport, okay, just outside the Freeport is Barreto, by the way. So it's not actually located in Subic Freeport zone. It's just a hop, skip and a jump away, about 15 minutes drive. But even being here in Kalayaan, what I do miss and what I do like is what I had in Manila, which I do miss. And I can't believe I'm actually admitting that I miss something about Manila. But what I do like is, you know, that expat experience. So there's, you know, these local bars, restaurants, some really good bars and restaurants, pubs and things to do in a place like Barreto. Barreto is a lot of fun, and you can rent a house from about 15,000 peso per month. I have seen people get bargains, absolute bargains in Barreto, and it's cheap. It's bloody cheap. I've seen people rent some gorgeous 4-bedroom, 2-story homes that are nicely decorated for as low as 12,000 peso a month. The individual that I saw that actually got that particular house had a 2-year lease, so that might have something to do with it, because, you know, they got the long-term lease. So it was a bloody bargain. Okay, so what do I recommend? Okay, I'm going to recommend 2 things. If you're a bachelor and you're a single bloke here in the Philippines, I recommend that you stay in Barreto. I'm not going to lie, Barreto is the place for you. However, having said that, if you're a family man if you are a bit of a family man, you've already got a missus, you've already got kids, the place for you, the best place in my personal opinion, is Kalayaan. Alright, well, walking back home now. Headed up the stairs. Got the solar lights there. Alrighty, here we go, back at Casa James. Alright, so in conclusion, it's up to you, depends on your preference, your personal preference and lifestyle. Like I said, if you're a family man, go for Kalayaan. My mate just got a place for as cheap as 28,000 peso per month for a big villa like this, and it was renovated, okay, and that's a great deal on a monthly lease, okay. You don't need to take leasehold. It is very cheap. It's about just under $600 a month. So you're looking at about maybe $550 to $600 US a month in Kalayaan, and then you can rent as cheap as about 15,000. The average is about 14 to 15,000 for a house in Barreto, or a small place, a small apartment in Barreto if you're a bachelor. So yeah, that's my recommendation, guys. Look, thanks for watching. This has been Peter from the Property Club. Please do share, like and or subscribe. Cheers and double thumbs up, guys.